Good morning. It's morning here in Sweden, but as you are, many of you are in another time zone, so it's maybe not morning, but here is in Sweden is it morning just now. I think it's June 10, 2022, but it can be another time for you. And what is said here is most of it is have no date. It have no limit, because most of it is spirit talking, and the spirit have no limit in no physical limits or in time limits. Is just here and now, the spirit. That was lesson number 1 for you this morning. I should not recording anything this morning, because I have done so many recordings already. But I got a new thing in the night. I got a visit in the night, but not something scary. It was only a young man that come, and pretty tall, slim man in around between 25 and 30 years old. And it was not a spirit from heaven. It was someone that is listen to my podcast. It's about you, that look like that, and what was said in the night, because it was a young man, and he say, I am confused, he say. And it was because you are interested in what I'm telling you, what is going on in this podcast, but in the same way you are attacked now from the devil. It is not my podcast that confuse you. That is the devil that confuse you. He want to confuse you, for you to say, no, this is too much for me. I can't, my brain can't take it all things. And in that way I adopt it, what she's talking about, if it's for real. That what you are thinking, and that what the devil want you to think. So I tell you, don't get the devil the victory. And he want to confuse you that listen, because it's a attack on him, not from my side but from your side, because he want you to go back to your old mindset, that you are going back to the old thinking, wrong thinking, those wrong belief that you have brainwashed with when you were a child. And when if you go back to your childhood, there were a time when you were a child, when you were negative to to go to the church and you were negative about what your parents was telling you, and it was a fight there about to go into the wrong path, the wrong the plan God had for you to go away from God's plan. It was a time when you were a young person that you still have this connection from where you are coming from. You are coming from heaven, and you have been into the truth before this life when you come to earth. And here on earth you were a target already as a child from the devil to make you think in the wrong way and do wrong things and walk away from the plan God had for you in this life. It's a plan here on earth also. I say it's a plan here on earth that on your way back to God that you should do nice things to people. And that is one of those things I knew before I knew God. I knew that was God's plan for me when I was walking. I didn't know God, but I knew this was one thing I should do without knowing God. That was when I helped a man to not make a suicide because of that he didn't get any job. And I have just got a job to test to working on some job. And when I saw him outside after I have got this job, I saw him coming, and I saw that he is on his way to do a suicide. And I walked back into the office, and I told the office that it's better that you give the job to this man instead of me, I said to them. And he got a job, and it was in the Catholic Church, and he was from Chile. My friend, he was from Chile, and he was Catholic, so he was on the right place. And I don't know what have happened if I have been placed in the Catholic Church. Maybe I have been brainwashed there and not walking as I do today. So that was in God's plan, and it was the Spirit didn't want me to start working in the Catholic Church. So I understood after that it is about to give information, to help people in that way, not about money. It's a free thing. It's not about money. It's to help people with information to make life easier. I'm not talking about spirit things. I'm talking about life in the world. That we should help each other by giving information that make that person could make decision that is right. I don't talk about evil information that make it worse for people. I'm talking about if you know something that make this person go forward and not make a suicide, that you should give it to them. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, any money to give information about how to do things, and that is love for people. It's God's love. He wants you to do that, and so that is one thing. And now I'm going to talk about money. I need to drink a little water because I have just started my morning, and I have hard in the night to breathe, and I get so much into my throat, and my nose is stuffed, so it have to go out in the morning, and then I'm okay the rest of the day. But it's about money, and money is not God. Money is the devil. And in this morning it was talking about Thailand, that they are going to make it free to could have harvest cannabis, the smoking cannabis. It's be okay to do it in their home, and it's there is different cannabis, and hashish is there is more heavy ones, but this is about what they call light, but it's never light. It's not light, but they say that these false liars to make it, I have talking about the devil. He speaking smooth. He's slick, So this is not a dangerous cannabis that they can have in their home. But as soon as they take it out on the street, then it's prison for them. But they can have it inside their home for their own use. Welcome into my home and smoke. It's gonna be like that, but in the news it was this slick thing that the devil is talking about. And then they were talking about money, and they say it's why Thailand do these things is that is very much money involved in this, that the government get very much money. But in the same way, I know that it's going on all over the world that they smoke these things in the government also, and they want to make it free for themselves. They have their own agenda. You should not think that our governments are free from addiction. And I have been working between my schools. I have been working in the government cleaning up, as a cleaner, and I walk into some of rooms where they were sitting working, and in the trash can it was full of whiskey bottles, empty whiskey bottles, and strong beers that I clean up from. So I saw them. I saw that they were drinking every day, very heavy, and they were those people that should make a decision how we should live our life. So they have their own agenda, and it's sad to hear it every time that the drugs is going free, and the people think it's okay because the devil is talking to them that is okay. And I am so old, so I remember how it was in the beginning when we started to use drugs here in Sweden. And I was in the school, the basic school, and they come to our school and give us for free. We didn't have to pay to take drugs, and at least half of my classmates took drugs for free, because then they knew that they'd be addicted to it, so they need to have more. But when they need to have more, they have to pay for it. So it was like a commercial in the beginning, and there was, I have some in the class and in the school that died very young, before they were 20 years of age. And one friend I had, she and her boyfriend started to do drugs, and they have a little child together, and then it started that the man died of overdose of drugs, and then they were beautiful couples in the beginning, but we saw how they going down and looked terrible, and then she also did overdose, and I was thinking about that little child that lost its parents because of drugs. And then I also, later on in life, but still young person, I had some, I was party girl, but I was not taking drugs, I was drinking, and I was on parties, and I had people there that did drugs. It was, I have friends that take hashish, cannabis, and smoke it, and you could tell that they did it like they did every day, because in their way to act in the body, it's going into the nerves, and how their hands and fingers moving. It was crazy to see, and it's sad to see that they have hard with the body, some of them, and also that those drugs make them go very fast angry, and but that was not so much about cannabis and hashish, because cannabis and hashish make people slow in the brain, and that's one thing the world want us to be. They want us either to be very slow in the brain, so we should not see what's going on, and or else we should go very fast, so we in that way doesn't see what's going on. It's to hide the real, the truth, what the world is going to be, and no of drugs, no addiction is good. It's of evil things, and we should not go there if we can stop it, and stop our friends to do it also. It's sad to see how those people is going down. I have so many that have been killed of drugs and alcoholic, and also that have make suicide because of addiction to gamble, for example, to make fast money. Fast money, that means the devil. And of course there is some money that is good, but most of it is of evil. I never talk about things that is like everyone, all of it. It's always some that is not going with the flow. So some people doesn't do this, and some people use the money for good things. It's not about that. I'm talking about those that is going with the flow and do bad things when they get money. I had one in my village where I lived for 16 years, but it was a man that sometimes he's walking in the middle of the road on his way home. He was full of alcoholic and drugs. I saw him on the bus going home, and he had been to the doctor and he had got the pills, and he was sitting and drinking alcohol and take pills in the same time, and he was full of drugs the whole time. And then one day he win lots of money in the lottery, and in that way was it good, but sad also, because he was a human. But he did a very much party then with all the money he win, and then one day he was out on the sea in a boat and fall out from the boat, and confused in the brain, he was swimming. He thought he was swimming up to the boat, but he was swimming down to the bottom of the lake and died. And that's sad about it, but God knows the best what was going on, and he did it on himself, because there is a time in your life. It's a spirit here coming here, talking now. Oh, Toge, it's have coming in your life a time when you could make a decision, a decision to go for the good, but you change it to be going to the bad. Like this man was swimming into the wrong direction, and that's what you did. And it's about when you are not okay with life that you have today. Is it to go back to find that place and moment where you have that decision to make if you should go for the good or should go to the bad. And sometimes you can't see it because we don't see the future, and you have been walking in the wrong direction, but that is not your fault in that way, because sometimes it can be tricky. Life is tricky when the devil is involved into this to make you go to the wrong direction. And but the way you could heal your life and start over is to going back to where it was this time or a place where you make this wrong direction. So I can't go back to that time, but it coming to my mind when my friend and I was waiting around the corner, and there was a car parking, a very nice car, and there was two men in the car, and we say we should, my friend and I, we say we should go on those men to be together with them, to could go around with their nice car, and I was like that, that my friend, even if it was a woman, I let her decide what man she wanted to have. So she go to that man, and I pick the other man, and that man become my son's father. And I was only looking at the car, that this was a nice car, and that make me be pregnant with the devil's child. And I have problems with my own son, that is so very, very evil person. And that was a decision I make, to let my friend choose first what man. And that man she chose, they were not together for a long time. That man, he lives today, and he is okay. He's a normal man. And my son's father, he died 2003 in too much alcoholic, so his heart stopped, definitely. His heart stopped in the hospital, and they couldn't help him. So uh, it's sometimes in life, if you're looking back, you did a wrong decision that make it for your whole life. I have problems the whole time with him. He's very smart. The devil is very smart. He's not stupid. Uh, it's and he don't look ugly, my son. He's nice looking man, and so it's not about that. It's what inside them, what's in the heart they have, and he have no heart, and his brain is working, and really evil, and but I can't undo it, but. But now I know in this special decision to make, you need to ask God to give you a sign. Ask God, the real God, Elohim, God, the highest one, to help you with the decision and not go for the world and not go for your own wants. I wanted that car and that make a mess in my life. But in the same way that evil things come into my life in that way, I added to it on my own. It was not God that did it, but because I didn't have a relationship with God in that time, so I didn't know how to communicate with God. So I make the decision up on my own wants. And today I know that I should not go for my wants. I need to ask God if what I can add into my life, if it is what God wants me to have in my life. You should not go very quick in your decision. You need to step back and tell those people or that person that I need to think about it before I say and give you any answer. I know the Spirit is telling me now that there is someone now that listen, that have this going on, that make a decision. It's coming to that time. It's a ring. He's showing me a ring. So that's what to do to marry this man or woman or not. And that you can't go for that ring because it's a fancy ring, it's an expensive ring. You can't go for that ring because that ring can make you get a hell into your life and maybe be killed in many way of to be killed. So that's a warning for you that is made now. It have not the Spirit doesn't want to say that you should say yes or no. It is saying that you should take it to God and ask. So that's my advice. This is the advice for today. So God bless your day and thank you for listening.